when players decide to get their third gas and how well they can hold it. And as we've seen in this series, for the most part, even if these maps are pretty macro heavy, both players are usually pretty conservative with how early they get their third base. I don't think we've seen one hidden command center yet early on, and both players really get a full control of the map before they take their third. And it looks like still more Vulture play here from Canata, and probably the same from Frozean, although he did have to build those Goliaths early on. And now Canata using his scanners to break through these mines, and so Canata's going to try and get as far out in the map as possible. At the very least, he's going to want to secure a third base, but if he can get a foot out in the middle of the map, or maybe even force Frozean to not be able to make a third base and make some more units, he's going to want to do that. But Frozean stopped Vulture production, so he doesn't have any more mines. So I think that's really all Frozean had really in terms of containment was those mines on that high ground.
Yeah, looks like neither of them have chosen to go with Vulture play, strangely enough, for this map. Canata a while ago, and oh, don't lose those tanks. One more, no. Oh, he just barely saves the tank. Just kind of like a millimeter out of the range. Still got Vultures patrolling the map, so it looks like we're going to see a different type of game here than the last two. We're going to see a more gas-heavy tank Goliath dropship sort of game. And now I think it's really going to come down to dropship play, because we don't have a massive Vulture armies. It makes them even harder for them to attack each other. I mean, when you have these heavy Vulture armies, that's really one of the only situations in TVT where you can kind of just attack move against your opponent, and whoever has the bigger army wins. With lots of siege tanks, it's all about positioning. You can't, I mean, if the other guy has positioning, obviously you can't A-move and attack him. Even if your army is almost twice as big, you're still going to just take so much damage. So it looks like they're both going to settle in. It's really going to come down to the dropship play here.
Yeah, Canata's still playing conservative. We see Frozean, I'm guessing from the mini-map, throwing down a command center in the bottom left. And Canata actually building his third command center in his natural expansion, so waiting to lift that off. I mean, he's denying as much information from Frozean as possible, but at what cost? I mean, once again, Frozean's third expansion is going to be up online before Canata's is, and Frozean just kind of slowly gaining the economic advantage. And then, yeah, so that command center is almost done, and I believe that Canata's command center is done right now, and he would have his refinery up online and been mining it, and probably could have taken a lead here, but he built a command center so far away from that third base, and it looks like Frozean actually moving. He knows what Canata's up to, and Frozean's going to try and get up there and almost like create a little line there in front of that base to force Canata not to move that command center there. And I think Canata was really banking on that as his third gas, and now moving, looks like he's got a dropship out and some rates. And Frozean really has some anti-air, but not as mobile as he'd like it to. So once again, Canata has to get a lot of worth out of these wraiths. But I'm surprised he isn't scouting as much. But that's good, he can take out that engineering bay. Yeah, so at least he's doing something with him.
It's a nice little move with the tanks there. He's going to blow away some of the defenses there. He's going to get that one tank, I think. Oh no? Okay. All the tanks that were in range are now dead. That's a lot of tanks moving up there for Frozean, but he's running into 2 siege tanks, so he's going to take some damage here. Maybe you should pick off a Goliath and... Oh, man. Losing a lot of tanks there. That was a pretty sloppy move by Frozean.
After A-moving into 2 tanks, he backs up and just takes... He lost 4 tanks there and didn't get any. So he had that little front over on the side, and then he just kind of lost it there. So Canata's actually going to be looking okay taking a third base. I
guess maybe he overheard my little speech and he just wanted to prove my point. As if to say, Daz knows what he's talking about. Watch, I'm just going to show you guys. You can't A-move and tear. Oh, doing it again almost. At least he was actually watching his army that time and didn't just run him into the slaughter.
So science facility looking out for Frozean as +1 is about to get finished. I consider +1 pretty important in TVT, although people almost focus more on TVP upgrades. I mean, that extra +1 attack forces tanks to kill another tank in 2 hits as opposed to 3. So I would consider that big, although you don't really see a lot of, pure tank-on-tank battle. And it looks like Canata's moving out here with a force of 4 wraiths and 3 dropships. And Frozean actually has dropships of his own. and Canata actually really nice, keeping an SCV and a containment there, so there's no way that Frozean's going to be able to predict this in advance. He has a single turret, but that's not going to see it, and I'm not sure if that SCV sees it, and it looks like Frozean is moving his 3 dropships over forward, but this is a really great spot here for Canata to land. Yeah, he sees it, and he's moving his forces over, but if Canata can land all of his forces and then start pressuring the dropships with his wraiths, he's going to be in excellent position to do some damage here. Oh, Canata not committing to this drop, though. Looks like he's backing up. Just barely Frozean caught that in time. He could have taken a lot of damage there. With all those buildings that block and stuff, it's really hard to funnel units through there and take out a drop once all the units are sieged.
I think Canata could have at least taken one more shot at the dropship there. It looks like he got a good volley off at a dropship. Yeah, that's the one. He damaged one. Oh, he's going to go for the dropships. He's kamikazing. If he gets his dropship, okay, he's losing all of his wraiths. Well, that was actually more... Canata lost a lot more gas than he gained in that exchange, but at the same time, dropships are just so much more useful. Like, he didn't need those wraiths, you know, but Frozean definitely needed those dropships. Dropships are crucial. So now Kanata's got the mobility advantage, and let's see if he can do something with that. Hopefully he's going to start dropping and taking out expansions. Yeah, he's loading up his ships right away, and he's going to move down.
Yeah, Canata really playing the mobility game here. Yeah, Frozean just been excellent with the turrets, and 2 Goliaths, 3 Goliaths. Canata really has to be careful with his dropships. Yeah, dropping those. I mean, he's at least taking out the turrets there.
Lost. It's going to be a third one going down like this.
Oh, Goliath starting to drop. He just lost every single dropship to just recklessness. That was crazy there from Canata. He just kind of walked into a trap there. I mean, he could have just went left and just got his dropships out to safety, but he was really committing to do something in that little area there. But, I mean, he just got trapped in there between turrets and Goliaths. And, you know, he had the wraiths. They were at least something, and then he traded them from the dropships to get a mobility advantage, and then he just lost it right away. So I would definitely say that Frozean is a real healthy lead in this game now.
Yeah, especially because Frozean's 4th gas is actually up and running well before Kanata's is. And Kanata's going to have a hard time doing anything about it because he just lost every single one of his dropships. He has to rebuild his whole fleet from the ground up, and it takes a long time to build up 5 dropships. And he's going to need to build up, before he wants to do any kind of drops, he has to build up a significant amount of dropships again, just because of the fact that Frozean does already have dropship of his own. So if he only drops, you know, like 2 tanks or maybe 4 tanks and a couple of Goliaths, it's not going to do damage fast enough to kill anything before Frozean's dropships get there, because Frozean's got the advantage in dropships now. So that's why it's really important to keep those alive.
Yeah, and I was kind of surprised. I mean, it's just dropships are just so important. I mean, he completely demonstrated. Yeah, he completely demonstrated how important dropships were by recklessly, you know, trading physics lab. Oh no.
Yes.
Looks like we're gonna see some battle cruisers here from Frozean.
Thank you,
wow,
Frozean.
I guess Carthage is a battle cruiser map here, and we're gonna see how well timed these battle cruisers are. If Canata is going to go for some battle cruisers as well, or if he's maybe going to caught off guard or what. But usually a switch to big air in any matchup in the whole game is usually a sign of, well, I'm ahead, and you know, going for big air, it can pay off, but you're real vulnerable when your big air is just about to come out, and usually you die at that point. But if you get ahead in the game and it gives you the possibility to start producing air units, and once you can build up a mass of them, it's really difficult to stop, especially on maps like this where there's lots of just lower grounds and higher grounds. And Frozean building 2 more armories, getting the double upgrades for his battle cruiser, so he's definitely committing to this battle cruiser army. I don't even know what to call it. It's a battle cruiser timing push 20 minutes into the game.
Yeah, I think his whole strategy is kind of revolved to do a 27-30 timing push with battle cruisers. But in the meantime, a big battle here in the middle. It looks like Frozean's getting the best of it. Got a lot more tanks. As long as he keeps those tanks sieged, yeah, Kanata's not going to be able to take any ground here, even though he might have killed more units. Although I think actually Canata lost more units there, but he's not going to be able to take any ground. He's definitely trying to get aggressive now because he knows he's behind. He's just down on gases. I mean, Frozean has more gases and he's had them for a while. And Frozean definitely showing his big balls. I mean, he's taken an expansion right under Canata's main. I mean, if there's ever been a base that's vulnerable to drops, like that's it right there. I mean, like it's practically right below your enemy's factories and starports. That's just asking to get killed. But he's got a good